Hello, welcome to episode number 469, nice, of the TEW Challenge Run. This is going to be SmackDown for week 2 of January 2024, as we continue the build to the Royal Rumble. Tonight we have the long-awaited singles clash. I believe they clashed like around this time last year when Seth was the champion. They had a SmackDown match on SmackDown Battleground. It was Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins then. But this is a much different Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins. Bryan is a dickhead now. Seth is also still a dickhead, but also a little bit better. Yeah. And we're following up from that hard angle last week of Tegan Nox betraying Queendom. And she is here now, she's here to open up the show. So without any more further ado, let's jump straight into the show. We kick off with a quick pre-tape of Cammy arriving to the building, following on from last week. She's like, getting prepared to go face-to-face with Tegan tonight. When Dakota Kai walks up. And she goes, hey, how you doing? And she goes, well, I'm waiting for the Genius of the Sky, the woman to my right, the Women's World Champion, Io Sky, to show up here tonight to, get her revenge on Tegan. And Dakota goes, what do you mean? Did she not tell you? And Cammy goes, tell me what? And Dakota goes, well, Io's had a tough week, So, she's not coming here tonight, We've granted her the night off tonight. Kate says, well, who did this? And Kate goes, me and her. As the tag team champions, as the deputy, I get to, sway Io saying things. And I said, Io, you really need to, lay low for a week. So she's not here tonight, but it's fine because, I'm here, Utami's here, Piper's here, and we're going to get through to her. And we're going to teach Tegan a lesson tonight. We don't need Io for that. Come on, you got to have faith in us as a crew. We don't just need to have faith in Io. And Dakota walks off, and Cammy's like, well, I'd have liked to have been informed. We then kick off the show with, the actual show proper, with Tegan Nox in it. This gets a 98, and I actually did rate Tegan in this, so it's fine. Tegan comes out, and she says, last week, I finally got a wrench off my back, When I joined Io and Cammy and Queendom, I was promised the world. I was promised that this would be the new change that needed in my career, after months and months and months of being beat down. I was SmackDown Women's Champion almost 2 years ago, and now I was reduced to nothing, and I thought Cammy and Io could help bring me up. And, my best friend, Piper, she was going to be a part of it as well. But then all of a sudden, everything changed. Dakota Kai, a woman who used to be my best friend, is now my mortal enemy, joined the group. And she started bossing me around. It's almost like she had a vendetta to specifically kick me out of the group. Well, she got her wish. Because I saw through Io's toxicity. I saw through her manipulation. I saw through all of that bullshit that she's been feeding Utami and Piper and even Dakota. So Piper, I know last week you were in a bit of a tough position, being my best friend and all. You wanted to come to my aid, but I understand why you didn't. But if you can just come out here, woman to woman, we can talk about it.
Bow down to the queens.
Piper does come out by herself. And she gets into the ring, she's there with Tegan. And then as soon as she puts the mic out to her mouth,
bow down to the queens.
the rest of Queendom come out. And Cammy goes to the ring, she goes, Piper, what you doing out here about the rest of us, okay? Yeah, we got something you want to hide from the rest of the group. Piper just sort of doesn't speak. She goes, yeah, that's what I thought. Anyway, this little, traitor standing across us from the ring didn't appreciate everything that we did for her. Okay, we kept beating you down and down and down again because we wanted to try and teach you a lesson that failure was not acceptable in this group. But if you want to keep being a failure and leave and be a little failure all by yourself, like you always are, and then Dakota sort of like puts her hand over Cammy's mouth. And she goes, Cammy, you know, Io's not here tonight, okay? I'm in charge. I can do the talking, you know, just give your voice a rest. Anyway, you know, Tegan, some people would think you made the right decision last week. And honestly, I'm one of them. I think you made the exact decision that you should have made, and the exact decision I would have made. Because I'd hate to, you know, keep being reminded how much of a failure I was, because if you're a weak link in a group like Queendom, then it's obvious that you're the weak link in a group like Queendom. And if you go out by yourself and you become a failure by yourself, that's on you. You're not dragging anybody else's name down with you. So I understand that for once in your life, you took our feelings into account. You tried not to be selfish, and you stood up for the group, and you decided to, you know, get that Achilles heel out of the group. Tegan goes, shut up. Okay? You've had it out for me for day one, and I understand that this stuff goes way back years, okay? But ever since you joined, you've had a vendetta against me, and you've been trying to systematically take me out of the group. And Dakota goes, well, I mean, yeah, that's true. And she goes, well, what you've done is you've awoken the real Welsh dragon inside me, okay? Because I have this championship opportunity, and now I'm going to use it to my fullest. So at the Royal Rumble, you can tell the woman of 1,000 nicknames that I'm going to see her in Chicago. I'm going to kick her head off with the shiniest wizard. And I'm going to become Women's World Champion. And then she walks out to the back. Piper Niven sort of like watches her leave, looking on sadly, and Dakota and Utami and Cammy sort of like reel in the ring. But yeah, Tegan declares at the Royal Rumble it will be Io Sky versus Tegan Nox for the Women's World Championship. Should be a hoot. But then cut backstage, Kayla Braxton says, my guests at this time, Cynthia Crespo and the new United States Champion, Pistolero of Death from Above. And they walk in, she goes, you know, how did it feel? You know, last week you didn't even have a match and advertised for SmackDown. You left United States Champion. And Cynthia goes, well, you know, first and foremost, it would, you know, behoove me to not thank Jimmy and Jey Uso for their unexpected appearance on SmackDown last week. Because without them, Pistolero doesn't stand here tonight, the United States Champion. I truly believe that. Not that he couldn't beat Solo, but we never know how the match would have gone without the Usos' interference. And I'm, you know, rooting for them to go and beat Roman Reigns and Solo at the Royal Rumble and get their jobs back, because they deserve it. As for Pistolero, he's going to be in the 2024 Royal Rumble match, and he's going to win it. Despite being United States Champion, he's going to go to WrestleMania, and he's going to take LA Knight's championship. And then Tony D walks in with the family, and he goes, hey, Wise Guy, congratulations, and I see you got a shiny new toy around your shoulder. You know, you can always thank Tony D for that, because Tony D, he was around, big problem cash, you know, have to take care of those French guys. And, you know, if you're in the Royal Rumble and I'm in the Royal Rumble, you know, we may have to square off in that match, but as an old favour to old Tony D, who helped you out so very much, how about you put that United States Championship on the line against me tonight? And David Martin walks, he goes, what's going on here, you know? You didn't do anything, Tony. You're trying to interject yourself in what isn't even really a rivalry. You know, there's respect between the French Connection and Death from Above. But you're trying to weasel your way in. Like, you're the rat here, Tony. He goes, hey, watch your mouth, Gabagool. What you call me? I ain't no rat. You're a rat. And then Cynthia steps in and goes, boys, you know, the Rumble's 2 weeks away. We've got 2 more weeks before then. So how about tonight? We do have ourselves a United States Championship match. It'll be Pistolero, Tony D'Angelo, and David Martin in a triple threat match. And then they both just sort of shrug and go, yeah, you know, that sounds good to me. And I go, great, I'll go speak to Adam Pearce and get it made official. So yeah, triple threat later on tonight. US title. Pistolero's first defense will be against Tony D'Angelo and David Martin. 59-rated opening match. Just a quick win for Alba Fire and Iona Webb. They beat Kane and Katana in 4:38 when Alba pins Katana with a gory bomb. 50 for Caden Carter, 65 for Katana Chance, 46 for Iona Webb, and 63 for Alba Fire. After the match, he just cut a quick promo. Pretty good one, actually, because Alba Fyre is quite popular. And she's like, oh, you know, well, we were bored, you know, we had our fun with Tiffany and Mariah. You know, they can go off and do their own little thing. We found our next friends to play with. Poor little Pax might not be able to see for a while. But hey, you know, it's not about them having fun. It's about us having fun. They sort of like giggle. Yeah. Just a quick promo to build that. That's a heat feud because it's a Raw team and a SmackDown team. We then cut back to the Queendom room. And Dakota's like their patriarch. Can you believe her? Can you believe Tegan? You know, demanding a match against Io at the Royal Rumble? God. Okay. Well, you see, I know how to make this right. And at the Royal Rumble, Io's going to be having her hands full with Tegan and nobody else, just Tegan. Or not, I say Tegan and. But with Tegan, that's fine. That's fine. Because in the Royal Rumble match itself, we need to do what Tegan was supposed to do. We need to win the Royal Rumble. And we need to use that opportunity to take either the ECW Women's Championship or the WWE Women's Championship and preserve the reign of the Genius of the Sky. So that's why myself and Utami, we're going to enter that match. And one of us is going to win it. And then she's like, well, what about Piper, Dakota? And because Piper needs to be taught what not to do. She needs a front row seat to Tegan Nox's beating at the Royal Rumble. So she's going to sit there ringside. She's going to watch it all. She's not going to get involved. And then we'll see, you know, whose side she's truly on, because she wouldn't make the same mistake that Tegan would make if she's there firsthand to watch what happens when you do. And as for tonight, we need Tegan to be taught a lesson tonight, so Utami, you're up. You facing Tegan Nox tonight. And Cammy sort of sets up and goes, Dakota, you know, what's all this? And she goes, you don't speak for me, okay? You speak for Io, and Io's not here. Without Io, you have no power. I'm the deputy. You're nobody without Io, okay? So why don't you sit down? I'm calling the shots tonight. And I've got a little someone else I think we need to go see. Come on, girls. As he sort of leaves the locker room. .65. Okay, Bronco Nemo suffered a damaged Achilles tendon. I'm not sure if he can work through that knock, 'cause it's damaged and not torn or anything. But at least it wasn't Swerve. Yeah, quick 6-man tag. The Mogul affiliates defeat Swerve. They are Swerve, Bronco Nemo, and Lucian Price. They defeat Chase U, the Andre Chase, Shane Reynolds, and Bodie Hayward trio. Swerve pins Andre Chase with a handspring back elbow. During the match, I imagine Dexter Loomis crawls out from under the ring and sort of just stands at ringside staring at the Chase U boys. Andre Chase like, what the fuck's going on, you know? And then Swerve stomps him to pin him. 25 for Lucian Price, 23 for Bronco Neiman, 95 for Swerve, 31 for Bodie Hayward, 54 for Shane Reynolds, and a 68 for Andre Chase. And yeah, nice win for the Mogul affiliates. Thank you, Michael Hayes. You look very shocked that Bronco suffered a damaged Achilles tendon. We then get a quick pre-tape. Bianca Belair and Montez Ford, they're out on a red carpet somewhere. You know, for the premiere of their new Hulu show, Love and Wrestling, Bianca and Montez. And they go, you know, it's great to show up and promote our national show on Hulu, streaming in February. And knowing that we are the future men's and women's Royal Rumble winners. Because we're just that damn good without that star. And Bailey goes, I'm fucking up all over the shot today. Bianca goes, well, you know, I'm going to win the Royal Rumble. It was my second time winning the Royal Rumble. And Tez, you're going to win the men's Royal Rumble. And we're going to, you know, be back here on the red carpet after WrestleMania with our 2 championships, because we are the power couple here in WWE, and there's nobody else on our level. Tez sort of he just makes an offhand remark. Like, you know, we're here tonight when we left Oro and Chikara by themselves, you know, at SmackDown. I hope they, you know, they're keeping themselves okay and not getting into too much trouble. We then immediately fade from that, and Solo Sikoa's got Oro Mensah pinned up against a wall. And Jakara Jackson is there, like, screaming, put him down, put him down, put him down. And then Solo eventually does put him down and like just walks away in a huff. And then Hit Row walk up and go, what the hell is your problem? What the hell is your problem? Solo goes, I'll tell you what Solo Sikoa's problem is. Solo Sikoa should be standing here tonight as the United States champion, but he's not, because those damn Usos showed up uninvited to SmackDown last week and cost him his championship. And now, Solo, he's going to deal with the Usos at the Royal Rumble in a match that he should have been in. He should have been in the Royal Rumble match, but he won't be in the Royal Rumble match because he's too busy taking care of Jimmy and Jay because of what they did to him last week. And Solo, he's not going to stand for being disrespected and screwed out of a championship that means so much to him. Now, if you've got a problem with that, Top Dollar, run your little ass on, or maybe fall over on your way while you do it. Or else Solo's going to put you in the dirt just as well. And Top Dollar sort of steps up to Solo and he goes, I ain't scared of Solo. And Solo goes, you should be. And he starts fighting with Top Dollar. He throws a Shanky around as well. And then he bumps into Angelo Dawkins. And he goes, hey, you think you're a tough guy, fam. I understand that you're pissed off, but you're taking it out on the wrong people. How about tonight? You take it out on me. And I'll teach you a lesson for this disrespect. So yeah, Angelo Dawkins, Solo Sikoa. A very pissed off Solo Sikoa later on tonight. 78. That's pretty good. See, where was this Pistolero last week? He gets a 90 this week. I knew it was the right call putting the belt on him. Last week had me questioning it, but this week, no, he's back. He does win, of course. He pins Tony D with a Revolution Fly to make defense number 1 of the US title. 73 for David Martin, 90 for Pistolero, and a 51 for Tony D'Angelo. And yeah, nice defense for Pistolero. I think he's in... Yeah, I did say he was in the Royal Rumble. I think David Martin's in as well, but I'll have to double check. And yeah, Tony D'Angelo, you already know he's in it. So I think all 3 of these men are in the Royal Rumble. But yeah, nice little mid-card. This is my mid-card title scene. This looks like a mid-card title scene. Gone are the days of fucking Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins wrestling for this belt. And then cut from that to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And they talk about, they retained the championships last week, but their next defense, we don't know when the next defense is going to be, because they're going to be busy in Chicago, and it's not going to be with a tag team championship defense, because Sami and Kevin Owens, they're entering the Royal Rumble match, and they're going to win it. One of them is going to win it, and become a double champion and finally main event WrestleMania like they should have done all those years ago. But yeah, the tag team champions are part of the Royal Rumble. The match is quickly filling up, especially on the SmackDown side, because SmackDown's got a lot of people I want to put in, because it's got my favourite characters right now. We then cut to a sit-down. Pat McAfee's doing a sit-down interview with Bronson Steiner and LA Knight. And, it's... You two have had a heated war of words. You basically are the antithesis of each other. You've got Bronson Steiner, the badass, silent badass, who just breaks everything in his path. And you got LA Knight, the rising star, in the twilight, if I dare say it, of his career. He's got a lot more years on his body than Bronson Steiner has, but he's the charismatic star who everybody loves. So this mishmatch of the Royal Rumble is certainly going to be one to keep your eye on as the present and the future collide. And it goes, you said something funny there. You mentioned LA Knight being in the twilight of his career. And if for any other man my age, with my mileage on it, that may be the truth. But I've got years left on my card, Pat McAfee, so you can watch your mouth there. But anyway, Bronson Steiner, I look at you, kid, and I see I'm very impressed. Like I've said before, your very first match in NXT, who'd you beat? You beat LA Knight. I don't actually know if that's true in this canon, because LA Knight was on the... Anyway, it's a good line, so I'm going to say it. But now, you're getting your next shot at a World Championship, and let's not forget the first. You stepped into the ring with the Tribal Chief. Way ahead of your time. You weren't ready for that spot. And you crushed it, kid, if I do say so myself. And from that night, it was only a matter of time of when Braun Breaker, at the time, would become World Heavyweight Champion. I know a lot of people, yourself included, I can see it in your eyes. To a lot of people, that time, they believe, will be in Chicago in 2 weeks of the Royal Rumble. But for me, I'm the only person on this planet, I'm the only person in this room who knows the truth. And there's one universal truth, and that is that the man walking out with the World Heavyweight Championship in Chicago won't be Bronson Steiner. It will still be the megastar. It will still be LA Knight. Yeah. Because you think I can't scout a guy like you. I can. Now, I've seen all you can do. Like I said, you got all the tools, but quite right now you're missing something, kid. You're in way over your head. This is sink or swim, and believe me, I don't think you're gonna drown. But I certainly don't think you're gonna swim all the way to the World Heavyweight Championship and reach the island that LA Knight is on. How about that? Yeah. Ron's on, he just sits there and he laughs. He goes, you always say everything with such conviction, LA Knight. You know, I almost believe you. But if I didn't believe in myself, maybe I would believe you. But you mentioned 2 years ago, you mentioned that match with Roman Reigns and Money in the Bank. I wasn't ready for that. I was thrown in way over my head. I was thrown into the deep end, and I may not have quite sunk, but I sure as hell did struggle and needed saving. But that's a year and a half ago, LA. You know? In that time, I've become the most dominant United States champion of all time. I've destroyed my own family to prove a point that I belong here at the top. And at the Royal Rumble, I'm looking at you just like I looked at Keith Lee. I'm looking at you just like I looked at Scott. I'm looking at you straight through you to WrestleMania and the World Heavyweight Championship. Because Bronson Steiner is, at his heart, still a breaker. And at the Royal Rumble, I'm gonna break you. And he sort of like takes his headset off and like storms out the room and goes, that's it, you walk away from LA Knight. Because there ain't gonna be no walking away, no running away at Chicago at the Royal Rumble when I'm gonna BFT your ass into the ground. Yeah. 78. Quick match, 2 women in the Rumble. Tiffany Stratton against Florence. Florence picks up another win. She wins in 11-17 with a rain flow. 70 for Tiffany Stratton, 84 for Florence. And yeah, impressive. Nice little match. We then see Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce in the GM's office. And Pearce goes, well, you know, it's official. You know, Utami Hayashishita and Tegan Knox 1-on-1 tonight. You know, should be a fun main event matchup. And Nick goes, it is, you know, but Pearce, I've invited some guests. I'm not quite proud of it, but I need them to, you know, be in this room to see all of this. And then Malcolm Bivens and his crew walk in. And he goes, Mr. Nick Aldis. My good friend, Mr. Adam Pearce, how have you been? Pearce just shakes his head, like sneers at him. He goes, anyway, Nicholas, what did you call Malcolm Bivens, that bitch Jade Cargill, and the rest of the crew in here for? And Aldis goes, well, I think you know, Malcolm. You know, it's no concern of Jade, but she's the Liberty Champion. I like having the Liberty Champion on my show because she's a star. But I've got a video here I think that you're going to want to see. And Bivens goes, well, what is it? He goes, well, take a look. And we can't see what it is, but Bivens is watching it. And Bivens and Omos specifically are looking over. And he goes, how did you get a hold of this, Nicholas? And he goes, well, as the assistant SmackDown general manager, I see it all. And he goes, this gets deleted. We speak nothing of this. Okay? Nothing. And Bivens walks out. And Pearce goes, well, what the hell was on that tape? And he goes, do you want to see it? And Pearce goes, sure. And then he shows the tape to Adam Pearce. But yes, it appears Bivens has been up to something sneaky. Because of course he has, because look at him. Then see the Chase U boys walking through the back. They're angry about their loss. And he's like, man, what is this Dexter Lumis guy's problem? First he was at the Christmas party for Chase U, and now he was at ringside for my match. Now, what is his deal? Okay, what does he want? And Shane is all like, pats him on the shoulder and goes, ask him yourself. And Dexter Lumis is just there, stood at them. He goes, what do you want? What are you doing? Okay, who are you? Okay, why are you here? What do you want with Andre Chase University? And Dexter just sticks his thumbs up. And Andre Chase goes, okay, a thumbs up, okay, is that it? You're not going to talk? You don't talk? Okay, well, how about next week? If you're going to keep getting all up in my Andre Chase University size business, I'll deliver an Andre Chase University size ass whooping on your ass. How about that? And Keith Lee again walks in and goes, oh, Mr. Chase, there's no such need for such violence here tonight. And Andre Chase goes, what are you doing here, Keith? Well, what's your job here tonight? I helped, I'm part of the backstage crew, we set up the backstage area tonight. And Andre Chase goes, well, are you good at that? And Keith goes, I believe I am, yes. That wasn't me. And he walks off. But yes, Keith Lee again, serving as interventer on Chase U. But Andre Chase has challenged Dexter Lumis to a match next week, so 79. That's a lot better than I thought it would be. Solo gets a rebound win. He beats Angelo Dawkins in 10:27 with a spike. 78 for Solo, 69 for Dawkins. And yeah. I just felt like Solo needed a win after last week and, the Usos shit. He is team with Roman Reigns against the Usos at the Rumble after all, so yeah. But after the match, Solo is celebrating when he's confronted by Jacob Fatu. You haven't seen Jacob Fatu in a while. When Solo betrayed Seth, Jacob Fatu also sort of went away, but he's back here tonight. And he looks ecstatic. He goes, Jacob Fatu, the Samoan werewolf, nice to see you. We could use some allies here on SmackDown. And he goes, allies? Solo, what the hell's wrong with you? Back with Roman? I'm not going to call him the Tribal Chief because he's a bitch. He doesn't deserve to be called the Tribal Chief. Back with Roman? Really? Listen, I know, we were hitting a bit of a lull with Seth. But me and you, we should have stuck together, but you've abandoned all of that for what? To rub shoulders with the Tribal Chief? I've been there, and I've escaped that. But now you've sucked yourself back into that vortex, Solo. And I hate to see it. I truly do. But maybe if a beating comes your way out of love, then you'll learn of why it was a mistake to stand side by side with Roman Reigns. Heyman's expression has changed from, glee to disgust at this point. He goes, and who do you think you're talking to, Jacob Fatu? This is Solo Sikoa. This is the Tribal Chief's right-hand man now. Just because he made the right decision to be on the right side of history, and you're going to be forever known as the irrelevant cousin of the two, doesn't mean that, you can come out here and mouth off to Solo Sikoa because you're angry at yourself. Okay? The Tribal Chief cast you aside, Jacob Fatu, not the other way around, make no mistake about it. If you are willing to be won over by the ideology of Seth freaking Rollins, then so be it. But Solo, he's different. Solo's better than you, and Solo is going to destroy anyone who steps to the Tribal Chief and the bloodline. And if you keep getting in our way, Jacob Fatu, that unfortunately includes you. And then Solo sort of shoulder checks him as he walks out. But yeah, we finally know what side Jacob Fatu's on. He's standing his business. He's standing on business right now. 10 toes down. He's saying fuck the Tribal Chief. We then see Candice LeRae in her locker room. Again, the shot is her doing something, whatever she's doing in her locker room. And then we can see the shot like the door behind her, and we see another one of those notes slip underneath the door. And Candice hasn't spotted it yet, but we have. And then she turns around, and she's like, what the hell is this now? She picks it up, she looks at it, she goes, another one of those... Okay. And she storms out of the locker room, and she's like waiting to see if anyone's outside there, but there's no one there. And then Queendom do walk up. Queendom being Josh, Utami, Dakota, and Cammy. She goes, well, Candice, long time no see, huh? She goes, what? She goes, hey, no, I'm just stopping by. You know, letting you know that the Royal Rumble's coming, and me and Utami are in that match, and one of us is going to win it. You've got Bianca to worry about, you know. And she goes, oh, don't worry about Bianca, I'm going to take care of Bianca, okay? Bianca will regret, you know, I've won a Royal Rumble just like she has. Bianca will regret, you know, wronging me when I'm eliminating her and killing her dreams of main eventing WrestleMania. She goes, that's it, that's the fire I like in Candice LeRae. What's this? Just another one of those little notes that, you know, like the one you begged me about. She goes, yeah, what's it to you? She goes, you know, I just want to... And she snatches it out of Candice's hand. She goes, whatever, read it. And she goes, everything's going according to plan, it says. With a smiley face. With a wink. Who's this from, Candice? Are you cheating on your husband? She goes, obviously not. I don't know who it's from. You know, I asked you the first time. I'm still no closer to getting to the bottom of it all. She goes, well, you know, I clearly think it's important that you remember what they say. This person must clearly want to get a secret message across to you that they don't want other people to know. Anyway, good luck in the Royal Rumble. You'll walk off. And Candice again looks down at the note and is like, who the fuck is this? Trick Williams is then in Nick Aldis' office. He's also watching the video. And he goes, well, there you have it. He goes, I can't believe it, Nick. You're telling me it was Omos? He goes, it sure looks that way. He goes, huh. I thought it was too big to be Mellow, but I didn't think it would be that big. But you're telling me the guy who took me out was Omos? And he goes, unless the footage has been doctored, then yeah. He goes, man, I've got to apologize to Mello. I mean, I cast a doubt on him. But he's on Raw, I'm on SmackDown, you know. But I tell you what, Nick Aldis, you put Tricky Willie in the Royal Rumble match. Because Mello, he's also in that Royal Rumble match. And I'm gonna, you know, that'll be my one time to come and see Mello, you know, because I can't float over to Raw because I'm a SmackDown guy. And I'll just go, I'll see to it, Trick. I'll get you in that Rumble. And he goes, that means so much. And as for Omos, I want him next week. Aldis goes, are you sure? He goes, positive. He goes, well, I'll see to that as well, Trick. Your funeral. So yeah, apparently the footage from SmackDown when Trick got attacked shows that Omos is behind it all. But why? 83. Tegan and Utami have their match. Dakota's out of ringside. I imagine Piper Niven's also out there. And, you know, the finish, I imagine it would be Utami has, like, Tegan in position for a 619. Like, for lack of a better term. But it's, like, on the bottom rope. So, like, Tegan's leaning over the bottom rope. And Dakota goes to smack her, but the referee, like, looks at her and goes, they don't you fucking dare. And then she... Cammy will go to strike the referee. And Dakota would go to kick Tegan, but, you know, she turned around and see Piper before she does it and goes, no, you know, Piper, you know, you do it. You attack Tegan. And Piper's like, why? Because we want to, you know, prove your loyalty to Queendom. You hit Tegan, you know, you hit this traitor. And Piper's like, but I don't want to, that's my best friend. And then, like, in the background, you can see Utami's gone to grab Tegan. And Tegan's, like, fought off, and now Utami is the one laying over the bottom rope. And then Dakota sort of like, goes, fine, I guess I'll do it myself. And she turns around, and instead of booting Tegan, she accidentally boots Utami, because she didn't realise that she'd moved. And then Tegan does hit the Shiny Wizard and gets a big win. 83 for Tegan Nox, 87 for Utami. Dakota can't believe it. She's just fucked up, you know. The 1 week Io's not here and she's in charge. Queendom have taken a defeat. And there's been a lot of drama tonight. But then the match, Tegan goes out the ramp, she celebrates. Piper's just still sat at ringside, like, you know, contemplating everything. Cammy's in the ring with Utami, glaring at Dakota at ringside, who's like holding her head in her hands, going, oh fuck, what have I done? But yeah. But thanks to Dakota Kai, Tegan Nox has picked up a win here tonight. Words I didn't think I'd say. We then get a quick backstage segment, Pete Dunne in his locker room, when Ilya Dragunov walks in. And he goes, Pete, you know, a man that I know too well, a man with a lot of history with Ilya Dragunov, the Mad Dragon. So, you think you're going to win the Royal Rumble, huh? And Pete goes, I know I am. Yes, huh? Well, I'm going to be in the Royal Rumble as well, Pete. So how about next week, 2 Royal Rumble participants go to war to see who really will come out on top in that bout? And Pete just shrugged his shoulders and goes, sure, whatever. Yeah, I'm in. So yeah, there's our banger match for next week. Ilya Dragunov against Pete Dunne. What a time. And yeah, we got our rundown for next week's show, which now includes that aforementioned banger match, Pete Dunne and Ilya Dragunov one-on-one, 2 members of the SmackDown roster in the Royal Rumble match. And yeah, they're going to face off for, I guess, momentum. The Rumble build is sort of like, again, I say it a lot, weird, because everybody's sort of in the same pool. So like, there's no like stories per se, because they're all building towards the Rumble. But yeah, it's fun. Anyway, speaking of next week, we also have Andre Chase and Dexter Lumis going one-on-one after Dexter Lumis' weird, you know, obsession with Chase U recently. As well as, apparently Omos was behind the mysterious attack on Trick Williams all those weeks ago, and Tricky Willie has challenged the Nigerian Giant to a match on next week's episode of SmackDown. Plus, the genius of the Sky, the Joshi Judas, the Women's World Champion, Io Sky, returns to the blue brand after having a week off. And there's a lot of mess she might have to clean up after tonight, to be honest. But moving on to the Royal Rumble, we heard everyone tonight, it is now official. At that show, Io Sky, the Women's World Champion, will defend the championship against the ex-Queendom member, Tegan Nox, in singles action. Plus, we have more confirmed entries for both Royal Rumble matches. On the women's side, both other members of Queendom, being Utami Hayashishita and Dakota Kai, are set to be a part of that match. As well as on the men's side, Trick Williams, Pistolero, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn, all set for the Royal Rumble. 98, there we go. Seth Rollins and Daniel Bryan, of course, is the main event. Gets a 98, it goes 28 minutes 29. They both score 97 ratings. But it is that son of a bitch, Daniel Bryan, who wins with a low blow and a knee to the face to put Seth down. Yet another big match that Seth has choked in. 97 for both men. And yeah, when push came to shove tonight, I guess Seth Rollins couldn't beat the best in the world. 93. Pretty good show. Pretty interesting show, because like there's no Io around. So it was the spotlight's been on Dakota and Piper and all of the other members of Queendom tonight. But yeah, well, that's more is what you thought of the show. So let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you on the flip side for Velocity. Velocity this week is a like plot device show, mainly to break kayfabe a little bit. But RJ City is in the office, and he announces tonight's entire card rundown, which will be, you know, kind of a stacked episode of Velocity. Chad Gable is here. He's going to face off with Clark Connors. Wes Lee will face... Who's Wes Lee facing? Kyle Fletcher. Kyle and Rogers even. And then Dirty Dom is going to face Cedric Alexander. Yeah. And then we jump straight into the first match, which is Clark Connors and Chad Gable. Gable wins in 13:36 with an ankle lock in an 82 rated match. 61 for Clark Connors, 85 for Gable. So what this show is this is the first show I'm recording since the poll went up or the questions. If you're not checking the community tab, you should. I've been using it a lot more lately, and I'm going to use it to like gauge what I can do better, what you're enjoying, what you're not enjoying, and stuff like that in the future. So like just gauge how everyone's viewing everything in the save so far. And the poll went up the other day that was like, oh, who do you think we should use more of this year? And Chad Gable, Cedric Alexander, and Wes Lee were 3 of the people mentioned. Wes Lee got multiple mentions, so clearly he needs to do a lot more. So yeah, I'm just gonna put them all on this show just to acknowledge that and go, yeah, you know, I saw it. Leave it with me. But yeah, Gable makes a surprise Velocity appearance, beating Clark Connors in a banger. Clark Connors, you know, he's really good in this game. He's got like 80 odd psych. It's crazy. 81 rated match. Dirty Dom beats Cedric Alexander by submission in 15-13. 78 for Dom, 76 for Cedric. Him and Beatrice are an awkward pairing. So, bleh. But I guess that kind of works in kayfabe. So, I might just leave it because that's funny in kayfabe. But, yeah. Dirty Dom does pick up a win over Cedric Alexander. And the main event gets a 77. It is Wes Lee beating Kylan Rogers. You know, Wes Lee, the unanimously voted number 1 guy. He got like 3 or 4 votes. Everyone's like, you should use more with Wes Lee. So yeah, here he is. I remember somebody left a comment that was like, oh, MSK shouldn't be a thing. With Wes Lee, he is on ECW by himself. So when he's on ECW, he's still just by himself as a singles wrestler. But when he's on Velocity and he needs to be in a trio, that's when MSK will come together. The other 2 are in NXT. Like everyone on the Velocity roster that isn't on the main roster is in NXT because they were just clogging up space on my roster. So I sent them down there. But yeah, that is the end of Velocity. That is the end of, you know, this tangent about who I need to book better. All green rated segments, actually. That's a pretty fucking funny episode of Velocity. But yeah, I'll see you next time for Raw Week 3 January. See you then.